When there's an injustice against you or someone you love or someone you believe in, stand up. Don't sit down on them. They need you.
Welcome to Popcorn Planet's Pop Culture Justice. I am Andy Signore here live from Tampa Bay, Florida. And thanks to everybody who sent out all the kind words worrying about me and my family. Happy to report I am safe. Sadly, though, many people in the Florida coastline were not. There are some deaths reported already and millions in damages across Florida, and I want to give you guys updates as to what happened. But for all of you guys who were worrying me last night, thank you so much. I was very lucky. Most of the people, obviously here involved in the channel that you were speaking to yesterday, Paige, Wancho, Julie, we are all okay. Still getting to wait an update from Julie, and we'll try and check in with her today. I know she hasn't gone back to her home, but she was in one of those areas that definitely got hammered a lot harder. I'm sending out so much love and positivity out to the folks in Florida who had massive damage. And again, it was really around the Fort Myers coastline areas, Northport, so much flooding, some terrible, just tragic images coming in, so much flood damage and just horrific images coming in. It could have been way worse, to be fair. It could have been way worse. But there's immense damage across that's definitely worth focusing our attention on and trying to see how we can do our best to support. I'm still currently trying to figure out what is the best method to support. I'm kind of just waiting to hear more from families specifically. I always feel like that's better than some of the organizations because you never know. I'm always still terrified from Puerto Rico, all the support they got, and the politicians didn't even give it to the people of Puerto Rico. It's still so many people lost their homes out there as well. A lot of support and positivity needs to be sent out today. Good vibes, prayers, whatever you send out there to the folks of Florida. And we're going to go through a lot of the updates, take some calls, and keep you guys posted at what's happening. Well, some other news updates as well. But we're live here. I got Fox News on, who's been doing some aerial shots to sort of show where it is. And now they're now expecting it to hit around South Carolina next, but it's going to be a much smaller. It's not going to be nearly as heavy. They expected to restrain to a Cat 1, but this was the damage you're looking at was more closer to a Cat 4. So it'll definitely be not as bad as when it comes and resurges out from the water. But it does seem like Florida is now in the evacuation zones have been stopped. People are returning. Last night was very windy for me nearby, but a lot of the, path and things that we were worried about have now thankfully ended here in Florida, but now it's just the aftermath. And you're looking at these images and it's just so sad. So much stuff. And then the problem is a lot of insurances don't actually cover you for this. And so it's just tragic to see what happens. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. It really depends on the plans you have and your companies. Like wind damage, I know doesn't get covered on like my own insurance plan. I checked before all this comes, and then you can't change it when the hurricane's coming, because they obviously don't let you because they know you can't. But some of this imagery coming in from across the coastline is just it's frightening. Massive, lot of trees, lot of homes, so much flooding, so much. What was crazy is I go through some of this, and thanks to the Headline Group, we were all compiling, but here in Tampa Bay specifically, like it just sucked out all the water. Look at this around the bay and the coastline. It just became mud. As the hurricane winds, as they come in, sucked up all the water as it hit landfall. And then it was wild. And so people are expecting all that to sort of eventually surge back. So everyone be warned to not go over there. But and near us, where we have a lot of the water around the bay, like it just sucked it all out. And some crazy images and stuff that were coming through. Here's one. Charlotte. Now this is in Charlotte Harbor as well. It's going in reverse from all the water that it got sucked out of it. It's wild to see some of these images. And pardon me if I'm still getting some sort of cold or something. Okay, but anyway, just haunting images to see this in Tampa Bay. This is Tampa, yeah. That's probably the convention center. Yeah, wild shots. It's just crazy to see what Mother Nature can do. Yeah, seeing the bay, like I live here in Tampa Bay, and like seeing the bay just like empty like this is just a sight to be seen. Yeah, I mean, right now, thankfully, we're okay. We're okay right now. Florida, I mean, those who survived, there were some deaths. I'm going to go through some of the reports, but a lot of damage done. Luckily not near me, I keep saying, but I'm just heartbroken at all the, especially around the Fort Myers area. Just homes just completely destroyed. Boats. God, it's crazy to look at. And then just like, this is what's always wild. You see like, this is fine. And then this one's not. And then just the path of how that works. And the wind sort of breaks down pieces of it, but then other pieces just get whole decimated. Depends on how they were built, how the wind hits, etc. But truly, truly heartbreaking images coming in from people and the devastating impacts there on Hurricane Ian as we go through. This one's heartbreaking because it's like not destroyed, but it is. Like, just imagine the cleanup after all this, everything, your home. I can't even imagine the feeling of what it's like to just have be completely violated like that. Where your whole, it's just all, it feels so terrible. And then, this image, this was, also Fort Myers. Yeah. Fort Myers, beautiful city, which I've been to. I feel terrible for the people out in, Fort Myers, beautiful place and, beautiful neighborhoods, beautiful beaches, and just complete, look at that. Oh, so sad. And again, most people, were supposed to evacuate. So the one thing about the hurricane, as we had with our meteorologist, Tim, yesterday, the nice thing about a hurricane, and not to say there's nice things, but it does at least usually give you warning to try to get at, to get out. And it's just all stuff, but it's easy to say that, right? Until it's your stuff that's all destroyed. But, and then to add to that, there's a flood damage around everywhere. Just every home just flooded. Jesus, look at that. That's like cement. That's just up from the dock as boats are just smashed into each other. I can't even imagine having a boat in Florida and then just leaving it there during a hurricane. Like, I guess what else do? You don't want to sail that thing during the hurricane. But nuts. Upside down cars, hugs. And then people are just still trying to make the best of it. Here's a kid on the back, on a kayak being pulled by the truck. That seems safe. That's Florida for you. Another family, as they watch and sort of see what happened, like, it looks like their home is okay, but there's a boat in their home. So, now these are the sort of images I was seeing even here, like, but not against the water. But yeah, the wind, the craziness. There was some serious roads also destroyed. No ice cream for Ian. I love that shot. As people were boarding up their windows and things to try and help protect, which is smart to do. This one, here it is. This is wild. I think this is the.
Chief Josh Cassio is live in Fort Myers right now. Josh, you've been surveying some of the damage. I got to think it's devastating and it's affecting you.
Yeah, Linda, the damage, the best way to describe it here in Fort Myers and in Lee County is catastrophic. That's really the best word I can come up with. Everywhere you look, it is bad. We're at the marina right now, and behind me there are boats that are crashed into each other. Some are upside down, half sunken. We're talking thousands of dollars worth of damage right here. Also, if you can see behind me, this tree is down. This is one of thousands of trees down in Fort Myers and in Lee County. You drive up and down the streets here and you see tons of trees down, a lot of debris in the roads. It is a complete mess. But now I want to go to this video. There's a major piece of infrastructure that's down. We have to talk about it.
Nuts.
This is the Sanibel Causeway. There is a 50-foot gap in it right now. It is impassable. Hurricane Ian knocked out part of that causeway. This is the only way on and off Sanibel Island, so that is going to be something to keep an eye on today. We do know first responders are doing what they can to help people stuck out there. We've seen boats, air assets, and just about everything else to try to help the folks who are stuck out on Sanibel Island right now. That is going to be a major, major issue throughout the rest of the day. Along with that, we've seen just about every other negative impact you can imagine. Again, trees down all over the roads, debris everywhere, metal roofs ripped off of buildings and scattered in all directions. We've seen buildings partially collapsed. We've seen entire neighborhoods and roads completely underwater. In fact, we spoke with a man who says his entire mobile home is submerged right now. His trailer is basically on its side. All of his possessions are gone. you know, look, it is really heartbreaking to see people going through this. Right now, just about all of Lee County is without power. In fact, you heard the governor just a few minutes ago describing Lee County as essentially off the grid at this point. There is a boil water notice in effect for all of Lee County. There's also a 6 p.m. curfew in effect right now as well. Some more images here. We've seen cars that were banged up. They were parked in one area, then the water came in and moved them all around. They're banged up like Hot Wheels. It's just really, really bad out here. Listen to this gentleman that I was describing earlier. He was talking about his mobile home that is now destroyed. All its possessions are gone. Here's what he told us.
I've been through 3 of them, 2 other ones before, and it was never this bad, so I figured, it's not going to be that bad, and I figured we'd ride it out. Worst mistake of my life. We should have went to the shelter. I just want to let my family know I'm okay, and because I got kids and stuff that are, I'm sure, going nuts right now. Anyway, let me go check on my wife, guys. Thank you.
Ugh.
Yeah, and we know there's a lot of people out there going through the same thing, having trouble reaching families. So, you know, that is going to be a problem going forward. Cell service is tough out here right now. We know the governor's and his crews have about 100 cell towers to be deployed through the state. That is going to be critical as people try and contact family members and loved ones. In terms of lives lost, that is tough to say right now. The sheriff here said potentially Lee County could be in the hundreds of lives lost. We'll learn that, of course, as the time goes on. Unfortunately, my photographer and I earlier today, we saw what appeared to be the body of a woman hanging out of a car on the side of the road. Very tough thing to see, but that's what we're seeing out here right now. Again, complete devastation. One bright spot, though, we do see crews out here beginning to clear roads and clear debris, the start of rebuilding, but clearly it is going to take days, potentially even weeks out here to get Lee County and Fort Myers back on their feet. The phrase we heard today that's really going to be in effect for at least the next 72 hours is search, secure, stabilize. Again, a lot of work needs to be done here. It could be days, potentially even weeks.
And that's depressing. Steph is here. What's up, Steph?
Hey up, Andy. How you doing?
I hold on. Let me make sure I can see you. I'm okay. Thank God. My family and I were okay. But I'm just feeling awful for everybody who's not. It seems like, you know, enough warning was there to hopefully save more lives. There's definitely some lives lost of people who stayed behind, who were given the warning, and that's so sad. These people who didn't leave, who could have prevented that. But it could have been way worse. So I'm trying to look at some of the bright sides of things to know that there was at least warning for these people, right? But it's still to see these images as we're getting them and then coming in. You were a little earlier. I was showing, but some of these flyovers are just really scary to see. The destruction of some of these homes and stuff. It's hard to look at. It's sad, especially when it's your own state. But yeah, I mean, again, this is Mother Nature for you. And yeah. When I see all this, it's like it makes me sad, but I still get sad of all the other areas. Like my family, I have a lot of family in Puerto Rico, and it's so much worse. It's so much worse because they don't have the resources. And so when you see these areas that just get hit by these storms, it's nobody's fault. And then and I was telling earlier, like when Puerto Rico, last one that hit, what was it? The big one. Why am I blanking? The big hurricane that hit Puerto Rico. Like there were literally pallets and pallets of food and recovery items, and the politicians didn't even like release it. They just kept it all. And you see that shit, it just makes me so furious. And then they don't want to help again because then what do you do? And now people are like, oh, I don't want to help Florida either because if I donate, who's to say it's not going to be actually, who's going to give it actually to the people? You know what I mean? It's just a fucking sick world we're in now where you can't even tell if how to donate anymore. It's like, it's wild. Man, but it just shows you the force of Mother Nature, and we got to take it more seriously. And I mean, not that we can, not to get in that whole argument of things, but yeah, I do think we got to really make sure we take care of this earth the best we can. Anything we can do to help. But these are kind of things that are out of our hands from time to time. So at the same time, I saw that story the other day, Steph. Did you see that where NASA sent a asteroid off its trajectory by blowing it up like Armageddon style?
Yeah,
did you see that story?
I saw that. Like it probably like smashed into the side. like bullseye hit, like Armageddon. Yeah, I saw that.
It's wild. So I mean, yeah, the point is where the more we, the more we do, the smarter we get. But I don't know how we're going to be stopping hurricanes anytime soon. But yeah, we're going through a lot of this image and updates as we go through the damage of what's happening in Florida. If anybody out there knows of, I'm sort of waiting for more personal stories to come out and other resources that are good for us to donate to. Because again, I'm always worried. You can give to the Red Cross, etc., but I'd like to try and actually give to the people who really are suffering if we can. So I'll keep you updated as we follow this story and figure out what we can do to help those in need. But right now, it does seem like this Fort Myers area is the most hammered. Naples also getting some serious hitting. But yeah, when you watch this stuff, I mean, yeah, this is sad to see. No, Steph?
It's horrific. It's terrifying. And I mean, I don't live in Florida, don't get me wrong, but I do feel a sense of frustration at the same time, because for me, it's like, how long will it take for this to be cleared up? How long will it take for the politicians to mobilize and help the people? Because I suspect that they'll just bicker between each other and not actually really provide any help. I have this fear that, Hurricane Katrina, that it'll take so long, like years, to get Florida potentially back on its feet with the amount of damage that we're seeing here.
I mean, to put it in
because the
perspective,
politicians freaking squabble.
To put in perspective, like Katrina was worse. It was definitely. I don't want to try to compare things, but like New Orleans was like a major city, like a hub, right, with a lot of people in it. And so it's like if Tampa Bay had been hit, it would have been a national like a even bigger crisis, because it's just more people. It's more populated. More, it's a serious play. Not to knock Fort Myers. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is tragedy. I'm just saying, like, Katrina was a whole nother level of like this times more, in my opinion, just because it was such and I just recently went there. They're still suffering. Like I remember going around, like there are certain areas that still haven't gotten fixed. And there never were. And there were, and a lot of the poor areas, that's what happens. The rich areas usually get the funding pretty quick, right? And then the poor areas don't, and they're stuck. And then it's like, what do we do? And that's why I always go back to Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico is part of connected to the United States, which most people don't want to admit. They reap the benefits of Puerto Rico from a trade, but Puerto Rico is a U.S. territory. But then when they need help, the politicians there, it's a whole mess. So it's like, I feel bad for all these places that are getting hit. Cuba also got really badly hit as well. Yeah. So it's just, anybody is just getting smashed by the wind, which is just not even something of their fault. It's just so sad, but that's the dangers people know of living in these coastal cities, just like California. I mean, I have always said it, not to be Nostradamus, but California is due for another big earthquake too. And that if and when that happens, the last one was Northridge right before I was living there. And those were really awful images that during the old Northridge quake, but everyone's still preparing for that. Like it's again, coastal city with the fault lines, the way they are, they're overdue. There's definitely more of these tragic natural disasters in store that and how do you prep it all? Where do the funds come from? I don't know. It's a complicated thing, but it's when you see these images, it's just so sad. But I'm also inspired because I know we have some of our own viewers and other people who've been through these types of tragedies and they still get back up. It's stuff. As hard as it is to say, it's stuff. As long as you and your family are safe, that's really what matters, because you always can rebuild. That's the beauty of not only this country, but just life in general. So it's just rough. I don't know what to say. I don't want to just keep harboring over the images, but I wanted you guys to know, like, it was, there was a lot of damage. Even though I got very lucky here in Tampa Bay and St. Pete areas, we're in the clear for now. I didn't want to ignore the fact that there are a lot of people who aren't right now really suffering, and definitely want to see what we can do once people start getting in there to assess even the damage, right? Because this is just still very new. I know our own Julie is still waiting to get back home to see if her home's there, and I can't even imagine what that's like. And so I'm sending so much love out to you, Julie. Keep us posted when you find out so we can help. But I'm hoping she's fine. Paige, her family was out in this sort of area as well. I know they had some minor damages, but the report from her was that they're doing okay too. But hopefully everyone's just safe and sound, and that's the best we can ask for, Steph?
Yeah. Yeah, it is. And no, thank you for putting it a little bit more in perspective in terms of like Katrina, because I'm seeing all this devastation, and to an outsider like me across the pond, I just think back to Katrina and the devastation there.
18. Look at that. 1,800 people died in Katrina.
Oh,
Yeah, I mean that was really. I mean,
That's
we're still waiting, but I think we've had a few deaths. But that was a Category 5 that hit New Orleans, and we were just barely at Category 5, and it was hitting Fort Myers and some of the coastlines that were evacuated. But imagine a major city, like New Orleans is a major city that was suddenly like everybody evacuate, and people weren't going to evacuate their home in New Orleans of all places. It wasn't even like, because some people have like beach houses along this coastline, or you know what I mean? They have family that'll just go visit up, but when it's a Tampa or a Seattle, or you know what I mean, like a major city, it just changes things a lot. It's a lot of people work there, right? And so when New Orleans got shut down with Katrina, that was a even bigger tragedy, and a bigger damage, bigger hurricane, and more deaths. They're still counting, but yeah, I just want to make sure I don't want to, because I'm also dumb towards all this. So don't get me wrong, but from what I've gathered, I think it's still from what I looked, they're still quantifying how many people have died. There were, but it's not as large, the deaths, thank God, that I've been reading. But anyway, you were saying before I interrupted you rudely.
No, not at all. So yeah, it's just now it's like, how long will it take for the politicians to actually mobilize and actually provide real help at ground level for the real people? It's just get your backsides in a gear, stop talking the shiz, and actually do it. We need to, I would say, figure out, as Andy I think was alluding to, figure out like a charity or like an NGO or some kind of organization that's on the ground providing real help for real people, for real Floridians, that's actually making a direct positive impact and influence to recover the state of Florida that has been affected by Hurricane Ian. Find something like that and support them.
Agreed.
In any way, shape, or form that we can. Because Andy's right. You put money into government for their fundraising efforts. Freaking, I'm sorry, but it's our government. They'll bicker, saying, "Oh, they spend the money this way, no, spend the money this way," and the money's in suspense, and it's not helping anyone or anything, because they're all freaking arguing, because they're all trying to get political points, this, that, and the other. No matter where in the divide you are, it's always what happens in politics, and it absolutely knocks the hell out of me. So yeah, let's bypass those mofos and find someone on the ground, no BS, that is actually helping, that can make an absolute direct impact now, without the freaking influence or inclusion of the freaking politicians. Because the more I get older, the more I'm getting a bit of like an old man. The more I get cynical about this whole politician BS, and be like, do you know what? Politicians ain't out to help us. They're out to help themselves. We got to help ourselves. We got to help ourselves. That's how we get by in this world. Politicians are freaking BS. My opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever. I respect your opinions, but that is mine. But yeah, let's get on that and see what we can find.
Just so we're clear, I mean, there was the first, this was, as I've reporting, the first deaths are coming. There were probably, obviously, will be more, because we're still waiting to get in to see what happened. But there was at least 10 or so, 5 been confirmed in one county. A 72-year-old man in Deltona died after falling into a canal while using a house to drain his pool in the heavy rain. So we'll see. 911 centers were inundated with thousands of stranded callers and some emergencies, but we're waiting to get that toll in. And I'm sure there's going to be loss of life that's going to be tragic, but I'm hoping it's not in the numbers that Katrina hit. Excuse me. I don't know what weird slight cold I got is, but it's starting to pass. But anyway, yeah, sorry, I thought you guys could see the screen. Sometimes I don't see what you're looking at and I forget. But obviously we are going to track this more and keep you posted on the aftermath and what we can do. So I'll update you as more comes in. But yeah, really tragic imagery coming out as this good news. It's over. We're past, so we don't have to keep hunkering down and worrying. And it does seem like, yes, it's going to be continuing, but not up to South Carolina. But it doesn't seem like it's going to be as bad. But those in South Carolina, be careful. I think it's going to be a Category 1, which is still, a big storm and not great. So please be safe out there as it re-strengthens and comes back up. Hopefully then it'll quickly wind down and we can all be back to regular operations. Emily just tipped, thank you so much for the $2. All the money donated, go to Bethany, be strong. All the money donated goes to victims. They really do good work around the world. I've never heard of that. I got to make sure. Because again, even that, Emily, is that real? Yeah, I got to look. But I will add it to my list and look at that later. It sounds good, but is it? We'll see. But thank you for pitching that. If anybody else has other methods or things, please let us know. And then we had one other one, I think. Sorry, Amanda N says, do you know if cell service is down in Fort Myers? We have not heard from our family since last night. It is. Cell service from I've seen on the news, everybody I've been watching. Yes, there was a clip in the one we just watched. Cell service is terrible. So don't worry yet. Just all the cell towers are down there. So you can't even get a call out in or out if you wanted to. So be patient. I know it's tough, but hopefully they'll get out with the phone and get back in a better service soon. But they are starting, and there's some, as we showed, some of these areas, there's like bridges out and stuff that, this was the one, the Sanibel Causeway is just out. So you can't even get out at this point. They're just stranded, on that island. So, yeah, look at that. It's awful. So yeah, just wait. Hopefully everyone's okay, but yeah, the damage is real. And a lot of people are suffering this morning. So send your thoughts, prayers, vibes, whatever you guys do. Because it's bad. Here's some more
good morning, guys. Yeah, we are in downtown Fort Myers right now on Bay Street, and let me tell you, the sun is not up yet, but from what we can see, there's definitely damage in this area. I'm going to step out of the way because these are really our first shots here on the ground. You can see there's still floodwaters here on Bay Street. This is one of their main strips in the downtown area. The wind is still pretty strong out here, but we have not ventured into these floodwaters. Obviously, definitely not safe to do so right now, especially while it is still dark. But just for a point of reference, you can see the street lights a little ways down there where the water is rushing out, and pretty much the base of it is covered. So that just gives you an idea of how much water is still out here on the streets. In our drive down here, there was down power lines, down street lights. Definitely not a safe place to be driving, especially if you don't have those floodlights on your cars. That's why officials are still telling residents in this area to stay inside because there is a lot of debris on the roadway, not only down trees, but just debris from nearby buildings, siding wrapped around light poles. Definitely tell that the winds did a lot of damage here, but we also saw a lot of damage from the flooding. I saw some water inside businesses, at least the businesses that we could see inside of, where power is still up and running, because we know that most of the power here in Lake County is currently down. So this is just what we can see right now on this one strip. We know there's going to be a lot more to see, especially as the sun begins to come up. Not sure if this car right here is going to attempt to drive through. Obviously something that we recommend against. You see those floodwaters, you want to turn around, you don't know how deep it is exactly, but it looks like they are gonna make it through this way. Definitely not what officials are recommending. They are asking you to stay in intense flooding, heavy rain, by flying debris and trees toppled. Yesterday at 5 p.m., the station was forced to go off air after the power went out, and they were unable to use their generators. One of the reporters saying it's likely a catastrophic failure of their grid, and some of the crew sought shelter on the second floor of their building. So far, Wink has been unable to get back online. And we've been told that some of them are actually still hunkering down on the second floor as they wait for first responders to get out there. Again, really just waiting for the sun to come up to see what the damage is. It is still not ideal conditions out here. The wind is still pretty strong, definitely nowhere near what they were seeing last night. But again, not ideal conditions to be out here because there's a lot of debris on the roadway, a lot of things that could still be flying around, and a lot more damage still to be seen as the sun comes up, guys. I can tell you that.
And that's this morning. So things have gotten clearer, obviously, since then, because they got hit first. It was hitting us last night. Like, I was feeling the wind last night. The wind was pretty brutal on my neck of the woods. I didn't get a lot of good sleep because I was just waiting to hear something smash or crash. And I didn't want my kids to be freaked at all. So we just went to bed like normal. But yeah, I know, just a scary place to know, like, hey, a tree could fall in your house today. And then you're like, well, which room is it going to fall in? You know, just that you just begin to panic in like a panic spiral of your head of just I mean, it can happen any day is what's so freaky. You know, someone can, whatever, to your house or home or wherever you are in your car. So you never know. Always be safe. But when you know the odds have increased, right, Steph, of just like something like that happening, it definitely it's not a good. You don't have the best of nights because I'm just like constantly up like checking on the kids' rooms and, you know, everybody else and making sure, like, should I put them in, you know what I mean? It's a very stressful thing. I shut down the whole studio. I unplugged everything. I put my cameras away just in case. I was like, if my luck, right, it'll suddenly flood right on this room and all the gear will be destroyed. So it's like, I wasn't really worried about the house being taken in my scenario, but when the winds and rain are that crazy and you're getting all the panic from everybody else in the news, it's easy to just get completely absorbed in panic. So very grateful. I survived my first hurricane here, but hopefully it'll be a little while to the next one. But we have crazy rains like this all the time in Florida. So yeah, stay away from Florida. I like Florida. I support Florida. I like keeping everyone away from my Florida. Keep moving to California. Go live there. But send your support to Florida. Yeah. But there we go. That's the latest we have on the storm. We'll keep going through some. I'm going to open up the phone lines, I think, see if anybody want to call. You can feel free to keep your support coming. But I appreciate all you guys who were checking in on me last night. You were very nice. I got a lot of messages, and I'm grateful for all the support from you guys. Oh my God, what a show. We got to meet Drunk Lauren, Liz M, our contest winner came in, Vito called in, Lewis was here. Oh my God, we had so much fun. This was a great stream. We just had a blast. This was a hangout stream, and I'm so glad we got you because a lot of people were worried. And thanks to all you who were worried for me, but I'm okay. Send all your thoughts, prayers, and love over to the coastlines of Florida. We will keep you posted on ways to support. I'm sort of waiting to see what comes in. So thanks to you guys for being so supportive and asking all those questions and being there. You guys are amazing. If you want to watch the full crazy drunken stream, make sure you become a member. Pick a tier, whatever you can afford, and then hit that join button. You'll be supporting the channel, and you'll always be able to catch our full 3+ hour streams over there at your leisure. Thanks again to Drunk Lauren, to Steph the Alter Nerd, to Lewis, Lecca, Vito, Liz M, and all of our callers today for such a fun show. We're going to have Nerd Report next, so we'll redirect over there. And sorry, no After Dark stream tonight. We did have to reschedule because of the storm and stuff. It'll be next Thursday, so you can still send your crazy gifts. I got a few of them in, and I didn't open them all the way because I'm like, ooh, this is for that show. Keep the gifts coming, crazy gifts for the After Dark show. Oh, Drunk Lauren, you're going to have to call into that show. I want Jody to meet Drunk Lauren. Lots more to come in. So thank you guys so much for watching. You guys are the best. Enjoy the rest of your day. Stay safe out there, and be awesome to each other. Bye!
Bye, guys. Have a good
Bye.
night, everybody.
See you. Thank you, Liz. Bye. Bye.